Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today you are going to be joining me pulling out the transmission on my GMC Vandura that we've recently just bought. It's got a slight slip in third gear. It's done 96,000 miles. It says it's been rebuilt before, but I don't know when. It came with a massive flipping tow bar on the back, so I think it's been a bit abused. I had to go adjusting all the throttle valve cable and everything like that, but it's not taking that slip away. So I'm just going to go rebuild it. It's the easiest option, and then at least I know it's right. So what I'm going to do on this video today is show you a bit on how I'm going to get that transmission out from underneath the van. I've taken many transmissions out in my time, but I've never done one on this before, so this should be fun. It's going to be a bit of a learning curve for me. I may make a couple of mistakes, but don't do them, and you've learned something. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so step one in getting our transmission out is to make a cup of tea in a wonderful Harrison Watts car restoration mug. Once you've got that, I will start by removing the prop shaft. Now I've written GMC on it because obviously I have prop shaft out for the Buick as well, so I want to know which one it is. Now to get it out, I've not actually seen one like this before, but it was fairly simple. So we've got our UJ or Spider or whatever you want to call it at the back here, and it connects into the input shaft of the transmission, and it is basically held on with these plates, these cups or whatever you want to call it, and they just bolt in. So undo them two bolts, pull that out. And if it's been in there a while, it still won't come out, so you're going to have to get a bar and pull it off. Now, it's important to mark them with chalk before you pull them. So, if I remember, I'll show you on the transmission, but the prop shafts, drive shafts, whatever you want to call it, they are weighted for balance. So, you really want this to go back on in the same location it came off. So, if you imagine the other side, there's a primary shaft. That chalk mark continues on, so I know that when I put this back it will be in the right place and that all of my balancing will line up. So that's obviously the back end. The front end, we've got another UJ. It's actually really light, this prop shaft, and that's all free. Wiggle it around, everything's fine with that. Lost a little bit of oil at the end. Now just going back to the rear, you can pull these off. And if you can see, I bet you can't, but inside there's little rollers, roller bearings in there. And you can actually, if I can do that again, yeah, so you can pull that seal off, and then you can see them even more better. Even more better, that's good English. So, you can see them even better. Now, what's important about them is you put that cover back on, seal back on. You obviously want to be checking for wear and the fact that they're greased. They do have a grease nipple. Oh. There we go, back on. They do have a grease nipple. It doesn't look like it's been greased in a long time because there's not a lot in there. And if you actually just move them in and out, that's actually quite rough. In fact, it's not even on properly because one of my rollers has sort of fallen out. So there you go. But the other side, that's quite free. So definitely something you want to be checking there. Especially, I mean, the slightest bit of noise can resonate all the way up of that. So what might be 1 decibel there will be 50 decibels by the time you get to the other end. So you definitely want to be checking them if you're pulling your drive shaft off. And if you've got a problem like it seems I have, you probably even want to be replacing them. So there is the mark I made on the rear axle that I was explaining about earlier. So yeah, obviously that's where it sits, right off with the bar, drops out, and then just slides out. Primary shaft on the front, just like that. Right, so here you can clearly see I'm underneath my vehicle. I'm going to be taking off these electrical plugs and disconnecting, oh, you can see it, disconnecting the selector. And then if I come around the other side, I'll be disconnecting that where is it? Oh, there we go, that cable, that's the throttle valve cable. Very important on the 700 R4s because all of the gear shift changes and pressures and everything run off that throttle valve cable, whereas the 4L 60s, which is the pretty much the same box, but they made it electronic. Runs it all off speed sensors and throttle position sensors and such like. This didn't. It's all off that cable. It's very important to get that right, otherwise you can literally burn through a box in, well, around the block. So here I am over the other side. This is the throttle valve cable. Now I've undone this bolt, I've actually taken it out and I've pulled this cable up. Now what you should see when you pull that up is the cable comes up and there's a little hook and you can unhook it and then you pull the cable out. But I've had a go at that and I can't see the hook, so what I'm going to do is just disconnect it from the top, pull it out with the box. It's going to be the easiest thing, with the transmission I should say. It's going to be the easiest thing to do. I've had it disconnected the top before, I've got a new cable coming, so it's not like I'm doing anything extra. Now also I just wanted to give you a little tip. So with these two with these two pipes here, I've disconnected the top one. I actually managed to do that with a 13mm spanner, okay, but the bottom one wouldn't do it. It's just started to round it off, so I went and got an actual 1/2" spanner, which is the actual size because it's all metric and AF and all that rubbish, and that started rounding as well. So a little trick is if you get yourself a 1/2" brake pipe spanner, it gives you 5 of the 6 sides needed, and then I've actually managed to crack it off, and then once it's cracked off, that's half the battle, and I can go ahead and pull that off then with another spanner instead of having to round it all off, break the pipe and everything like that. That's a nice little win. So I've got to disconnect the dipstick tube, which I forgot to mention. Now that's been in there probably 30 years and isn't going to want to let go. It should just pull out, but you know, they've become best friends and they don't want to. So that's going to be fun. It is actually bolted at the top there as well, so hopefully that'll come out nice and easy. It looks like the starter motor is attached to the bell housing, so that's going to come off. So I'm going to disconnect the battery. I'll do that off screen, you know, to see how to disconnect the battery. If you're going to have a go at building a transmission, you're definitely going to know how to disconnect the battery. So I will update you when these are off and I am ready to move on. The next step is I'm going to take the bottom cover off so we can see the torque converter and the flex plate, because I'm going to take the torque converter off with the transmission. So we'll have a look at that. So I've taken that bottom cover off, which obviously sits here, and that's revealed the torque converter. And I mean, that looks like a flywheel. I thought it was going to be a flex plate, but I'd say that's more like a flipping flywheel to me. But either way, flex plate, flywheel, whatever you want to call it. So that's exposed that, and then it's held on with what I presume is 4 bolts each way around. I'm going to have to spin the engine to get to all of them, but I believe, and I will do it just in case, but I believe it's fairly important that the torque converter goes on to the same position. So I will mark that up just to double check. But the cover is dead easy to take off. So there's just 3 bolts, one located at each top point, and then there's one just here as well. I don't know if you can see it. There is supposed to be one on the other side. There, that's it. But I didn't have one, so you know, whatever is what it is. But yeah, cool. I didn't think you'd take the starter motor off, and it doesn't look like you do. So I think if I leave that connected there are 2 bolts that go through the bell housing. I'll have to disconnect them, obviously, but I think I can actually leave the starter motor in place. But we'll see. Keep going. So next thing I'm going to do is I need to drop the support, the cross member. So I'll disconnect that mount bolt, which holds the back of the box on. Sorry if you keep saying box, transmission, or whatever you want to do it, or whatever you want to call it. And then I'm going to take these off, support it up. I'm not sure how yet, probably with a jack, but I might put a sling on it so that I can just manoeuvre it down so I can get the bell housing bolts. We'll see. I'm going to wing it. Give you an update in a bit. Okay, so quick update. I changed my mind completely. What I've done is I have, if I can get the flipping camera right, maybe this light. I've taken out the torque converter to flywheel flex plate bolts. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, I have not done one of these before. I am learning, and there is only 3 of the bolts that hold them on. I thought there was 4, there's not, there's 3, but I have marked it up so I know where it goes back on. As you can see, the torque converter, and I'm spinning without the flywheel flex plate. It is a pain because you do have to turn the engine, whether you want to take a spark plug out to lose the compression. I don't know. It is doable, but it's a bit time consuming. But either way, torque converter is now not attached to the flywheel. So when I do pull the box, that's coming with the transmission. That's staying on the engine. So I'm going to do my best to show you this. So this here is the throttle valve cable from the top end, obviously at the top of the engine. So what it does is it just clips on top of there. I don't think I'll be able to get it out without off here, because you have to kind of like push it that way and then clip it off. So I can't do that whilst I'm on the camera. And then it clips into this bracket here. Get out of the way here. So if I just push them down, once that's off, I'll push them down, pull that out, and that comes out the back. There's the adjuster, and then I should be able to pull that cable off, feed that down, that'll come off with the box. I know my engine is dirty. This is, as I keep joking with the wife, a genuine bar type, because the chap had it before me in the farm. He bought it to do it with his missus, and then she left him after a couple of months, so he stuck it in a barn for 4 years, forgot about it. Hence why there's straw everywhere. Don't judge me. Yeah. Okay guys, so there it is. It is out. Yeah, dead easy. I asked it nicely and it just jumped, and it wasn't a pain at all. That's a lie, it was an absolute bastard. Okay guys, so I managed to get the box transmission out, whatever you want to call it, and here it is on my bench. Everything was going well. I'd measured the gap between the top of the tunnel and the exhaust pipe, and there seemed like a load of room there, but when I actually started to manoeuvre the box down, it just touched one of the exhaust pipes and decided it wanted to roll. So it slipped off the jack, but luckily it kind of like bit on that bit of the exhaust and the top of the tunnel, and it just kind of hung there. So like, ah crap. So anyway, I managed to reposition the jack, and I managed to pull it out. I wanted to keep the torque converter attached, but clearly you can see that did not happen. As it kind of like rolled, the torque converter touched the exhaust and then just kind of fell off. So whatever, yeah, those things happen. And I don't think you can see it. The only other thing I want to mention is the dipstick tube, which I don't think I'm going to get a very good shot of, but it's here anyway. So the cheat book basically says, you know, undo the 2 mounts and pull it out. Yeah, no, that's been in there for flip knows how long, and it was not coming out. It's only held in by a rubber seal, but that seal was just like, nope, not letting go. I have a new best friend and you're going to separate us. So I didn't. I had to break it. In fact, I had to grind it off just to get it out. But that's okay. There's somebody who has one in the UK who's selling it for an extortionate amount of money, so that's probably what I'm going to do, buy one of them. But hey, there you go. It's out. I'm going to clean it. I'm going to get to the... I'm not going to strip it yet because I haven't got the parts yet, so I don't want to take it apart until I get all the new parts. But yeah, I'm definitely going to clean it and get it ready to be rebuilt. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, smash buttons, do what you do, and we'll see you in the next one when we rebuild it.